And welcome back to Theros Beyond Death spoilers. We got a lot of spoilers from the weekend, and today to go over, so let's go over them. Airboss's intervention. By the by, before I begin, I did learn, I think it was today or yesterday, that they are trying to, I think, go with this War of the Sparks outline for their spoilers, where they're not doing it like by any random assortment of reasons. It is for story by story beat. Like, this is the order the story is apparently going in. But Airboss's intervention is 1 black X for a rare instant. Choose one. Target creature gets -X until the end of turn, and you gain X life. Or exile up to twice X target cards from graveyards. So Airboss is a freaking hoser. This is a fantastic card. Either way, I like that each of the interventions has a doubling effect to them. I also find it interesting that both Thassa's and Heliod's intervention clearly comes later in the story, whereas the first intervention was Nihili's, then it was Airboss's, and then it was Perforos who tried to do an intervention. In terms of the card, though, it's taking out whatever there is. It will take out a god. It will take out any creature on the field, indestructible or not. There's no creature safe from this card, save for anything that has hexproof or shroud, if that existed. That is it, or something that has protection. Those are the only kinds of cards that have protection from this card. Then you gain that much life, so you're killing probably their best creature on the field, gaining that much life. Then you exile or you could exile twice as many cards that you basically casted X for. And seeing as this is just 1X, you could pay 5 and exile 10 cards from the grave, meaning any escape card is done. Not coming back. This is a fantastic card. If I'm in the pre-release, I get this card and maybe one other solid card. I could definitely see a black dual color, because you very rarely ever want to be in just a monocolor in a sealed event. Only because there's usually not enough support for just one monocolor deck, and it's just more advantageous to be in multicolor. But no, and Airboss's intervention is a fantastic. All the interventions so far are pretty good. That I would argue is the best one, though. With Perforos, I think, being the second best. Perforos' intervention is 1 red and an X for a rare sorcery. Choose one. Now, you can create 1/X1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste, and you sacrifice it at the beginning of the end step. Or it deals twice X damage to target creature or planeswalker. Again, this thing is pretty good. In an open board state, like say you just play Airboss intervention, you could easily swing in. Well, in an open board state, you probably would go with the 7/1 to do some massive damage. But let's be honest, most of us are probably going to be using it for that second ability, to basically take out anything that isn't indestructible, isn't hexproof, or doesn't have protection from red. Because twice as much X, you only have to pay 4 mana to do 6 damage. Most things in this set, most things in most formats, don't go above maybe 6 to 7 toughness. And if you do, then just honestly pay 5 and you deal 8. And that's not even the biggest thing. This thing will kill any planeswalker on the field. This thing is phenomenal. Honestly, right now, I'll probably go with Airboss's intervention being the best, Perforos being the close second, and Nihili's coming in at a reasonable third. Yeah, Nihili's isn't the best, but it's still decent. Great card so far. Shoal Kraken is 1 blue, 4 of any color for a uncommon Kraken, 3/5. Constellation, whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card, and if you do, discard a card. Gonna be good in that enchantment deck. You'll be able to get draw. It's not going to be great. Now, it's a May ability, so you don't have to use the May ability, but it's not going to be great when you have no cards in your hand, obviously, or you got only one card, you want to hold on to that card. You don't want to play that, obviously. But luckily, it's a May ability, so you'll at least have a 3/5 butt on the field, which isn't bad at all. For 5, that's a decent card. Naiad of the Hidden Coves, which I believe was already spoiled with those leaks, but we got the official card now. 1 blue, 2 of any color for a 2/3. Nymph, common. As long as it's not your turn, spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Gonna be a decent card in that spells on your opponent's turn effect deck, where that apparently will exist. But overall, it's okay, especially if you got counter spells. It's definitely going to be a bit of a boost to that. Vexing Gull. It's a bird. It's a 2/2. It's a Windrake with Flash. It's actually just the improved Windrake. That's all it is, because they gave it Flash. So it's a good card. Because Windrake is a good card. So this is now a better card than Windrake. Oh boy. Siona, Captain of Phileas. I'm probably butchering that. 1 white, 1 green, 1 of any color for a 2/2 legendary uncommon human soldier. Okay, let me see. There's a lot of stuff on. There's a lot of text on this card. When this card enters the battlefield, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal an aura card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. Whenever an aura becomes attached to a creature you control, you create a 1/1 white human creature token. Whew, that's a lot of information on there. I think it's mostly because it's almost a freaking paragraph in the first sentence. Look, you get an aura out of this assuming you're in it. Well, okay, you don't automatically get an aura. If your deck is set up right, you'll probably get at least a aura out of it. And then whenever auras come out, you'll get creatures. It doesn't have to be attached to just her. It can be attached to anything. It can be attached to the soldier she makes. But you have to obviously have auras. Now, luckily, we had some auras also revealed. One pretty solid one, honestly. So it's a good card. It needs to be in the right deck. Fortunately, it's cheap. It's affordable. It's reasonably cost, and it's reasonably powered. So it's not a bad card. It's not a bad card at all. It's definitely a build around card. It's a card that needs to go in a specific deck. But in that deck, it's going to run really well. Arena Trickster is 1 red, 3 red color for a 3/3 human shaman common. I didn't even think of that rhyme. Human shaman common. When you cast for a spell during each opponent's turn, put a +1 counter on this card. At common, hey, a 3/3 for 4 vanilla isn't bad, frankly. So at common, the fact that you'll need this in the deck that it's playing in. It's going to be casting spells a lot on its opponent's turn. It's a good card. Is it the best card in the world? No, you can play a lot better cards than this. Hell, this card coming up is probably better if we're going to be honest. But this is a decent card, absolutely. Not the best card, but it's probably going to be one of your like 20 some odd picks, the 20 somethingth pick in like a pre-release, but still not a bad option because all you need to do is get 1 or 2 casts off on this. And you already have it at a 5/5, which is not easy to deal with, even with gods, because they need devotion. Oreed, it's either Oreed or Red, but I'm going to go with Oreed. Of the Mountain Blaze, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 of any color for a 1/3 enchantment creature, nymph, common. You may pay 2 of any color, 1 red to discard a card and draw a card. Basically, reverse, it's looting, as they say. It's fine. Like I said, it's probably a little better than this because it is drawing cards out of your deck, but you have to discard cards first. So if you have to basically be sure, do I have things in my hand I need to get rid of? Luckily, though, in this set with Escape, that does automatically make it a bit more of a usable card. So, in that sense, not bad. Not bad at all. In fact, now that I say that out loud, it makes things like the Shoal Kraken a bit better, too. So, who knows? This is interesting. Utopia, that's the name of it. Utopia, the twice favored. That's interesting. It's a green-blue for 1 blue, 1 green, 1 of any color for a 2/2. Human wizard, uncommon, legendary. But it's a Simic it's a blue-green creature that's not aligned with Krufix, the green-blue god. It's actually, hence they say the twice favored, aligned with both Naili and Thassa. Consolation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1 counter on target creature, and that creature gets flying until the end of turn. In the enchantment deck, this thing is an all-star. This thing will pump itself up, give it flying, pump anything else up on the field, give it flying. Enchantment creature comes out, you can easily pump up the enchantment creature. So this thing is freaking beast. That being said, unless the enchantment creature has haste, you're probably going to pump up something else, probably her. I'm assuming that's a woman. I think that's a woman. Pretty sure it's a woman. Wait, Naili, Spark. Yep, it's her. It says her in the flavor text. This is a fantastic card, but I'm also a green-blue player. My favorite color combination is green-blue. I'm a Simic player at heart. Followed closely by Izzet and Gruul. But green and blue are my 2 favorite colors in the game and in life in general. So when they show off cards like that, I'm like, I'm happy. Dryad of Ilisan Grove. I might be getting that name wrong, but I know it's a rare. I've seen the actual card. 1 green, 2 of any color for a 2/4. Whenever you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. Well, hello, Commander. Seriously, this thing's going to be good all around. It's 3 mana for a 2/4 with this kind of effect. This thing's got a butt that will last. Again, provided you're not getting like Wrath of Gods or anything or God's Fury or whatever. Provided you're not getting 4 power or 4 damage wipers going out on you. But this thing's a beast in terms of its butt. Like, this thing will be able to take some damage. it means you can play anything in your hand. So multicolor rainbow decks, tricolor decks, quad color decks, they're going to want this card, provided your quad or tri is using green. And because that means all your basic land, no, not even basic lands. That's the big thing. All your lands tap for any color. They're all colors. That's big. That's huge. That is in addition to the other types. So this thing's going to be worth a bit of money. This thing's going to be worth a bit of money. One that will probably not be, but I will definitely be using it in certain decks. Hydra's Growth. 1 green, 2 of any color for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enters the battlefield, get a +1 counter. The creature gets a +1 counter when it enters the battlefield. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you double the number of +1 counters on the creature. Now, so far, we actually only have 1 Hydra in the set. I have to believe we're going to get at least 1 or 2 more Hydras in the set. We cannot have a Greek-themed set without at least 1 other Hydra. Think about it. I know there was, I'm trying to think of all the Hydras that I can remember in the original Theros pack. There was Mistcutter, Pelucranos, Hydra Broodmother. I know there was a couple other ones. Oh, there was one that had Tribute that I have that one. I know there's a couple other ones that are escaping me at the moment. At least one other one that I'm forgetting at the moment, and it's bothering me that I'm forgetting it. Oh no, yeah. Bane, or not Bane of Balak yet. Hero's Bane. That was it. Hero's Bane. So yeah, we only have Pelucranos, who's cool, who's awesome. I love the way it's designed. I can't wait to maybe find a way to use them. But I have to believe we'll have another Hydra. So you add this onto a Hydra that automatically usually has +1 counters on it, with very few exceptions. And you immediately he'll get an extra +1 counter. If he survives 1 turn, you double not just that +1 counter, but all the +1 counters on that creature. Let's go in a different way. Let's go with just a Simic deck that's literally designed from cards from the Simic, guild, from Ravnica. Those cards all deal with +1 counters. That makes what was it? Hydroid Crisis. There you go. That thing goes completely nuts fast. What about Scavenge Creatures? That thing goes completely nuts. This thing is disgusting. Now, and it's only an uncommon. It's only an uncommon. So if this thing remains more than 1 turn on the field, your opponent's going to have a problem. Especially, I have an unblockable that, back when unblockable was a legitimate thing, and it technically still is. It just says this creature can't be blocked. I prefer it unblockable, frankly. But whatever, keywords are keywords, or lack thereof. You put this on a creature that can't be blocked, or with evasion, then it's just a ticking time bomb. It's a card that needs to be answered, or the creature that it's equipped to needs to be answered or enchanted on. So, yeah, fantastic card, honestly. I love this card. Discordant Piper. 1 black, 1 of any color for a zombie satyr 2/1. When it dies, you create a 0/1 white goat creature token. What I think I like most about the flavor of this is if this thing dies, essentially, the human half is just killed, but for some reason the goat half still wanders around because it's the 0/1 and this thing has 1 toughness. So I'm imagining when this thing just gets killed by a Hydra or a Soldier Man just take it out, there's still this little half of a goat running around. As for the card itself, it gives you a body when it dies, so it's not useless by any stretch of the means, and it's a 2/1 for 2, so it'll be able to trade with something. So not the best thing, not the worst thing in the world, but not the best thing. Mantle of the Wolf is a 1 green, 3 of any color enchantment or a rare. Enchanted creature gets +4/+4, and when this card is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you create a 2/2 wolf creature, a green wolf creature token. And look, 4/4 for 4 without any other ability. That a permanent 4/4 for 4 without any ability. That's fine. I mean, literally, look at any creature in this set and tell me that it's not improved by adding +4/+4 on it, even if it's for a swing of 4. That's perfectly reasonable. And the fact is, when you die, you still get a body, or when it dies, you still get a body. And there's ways of getting auras back in this set. So this is a perfectly fine card. Hell, put it on the goat. Put it on the goat. Make it a 4/5 goat. That'd be hilarious. I'd be totally down for that, actually. So yeah, this is all well and good. Now we're getting into some of the meat of the day. So Archon of the Sun's Grace is 2 white, 2 of any color for a 3/4 Archon, rare. Lifelink and flying. Pegasuses you control have lifelink. And Constellation, when you play an enchantment or when it enters the battlefield under your control, you get a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. So essentially, get ready to make your Pegasus deck a thing. Yeah, this is a good card. The fact is, it'll reward you for continuing to play enchantments. You'll get bodies. They're not just 1/1 Pegasuses. It is Pegasuses, not Pegasus. So look, they're gonna be a thing. They will hit, and they will hit. They do not underestimate just getting an extra 2/2 flyer. The fact is, it's a 3/3 flyer with lifelink that makes 2/2 flyers with lifelink because he gives them lifelink. That means there's 5 power on the field that if you don't have a reach or flyer are going to get through each turn. You need to answer that quick. And this is only 3/4 for 4. So this is a great card, honestly. Whirlwind Denial. Okay, cards like this just can. I'm a blue player by nature, but cards like this just kind of confuse me. Whirlwind of Denial is 1 blue, 2 of any color for an instant uncommon. For each spell and ability your opponent's control, counter it unless its controller pays 4. So for each spell and ability your opponent's control, counter it unless it's... So does that mean when an ability goes off, you can counter the ability of a creature? Let's just assume, for instance, let's just look at the Archon, for instance. When the constellation goes off, does that mean you can counter the ability of the constellation? And spells you control. So, I mean, they're paying a spell. And then for each card on the field that has an ability? I'll be completely honest. I don't understand. I've seen other cards that are kind of like this. This card confuses the hell out of me. I don't know how to make of this card. I'm assuming it's a really good card, or at least a usable card. 3 mana, it's a counterspell, which most 3 mana counterspells are pretty usable. So I don't know anything about that. I don't know how to judge that card properly. We got the 2 other demigods, Anax, Hardened in the Forge, and Renata, Called to the Hunt. Anax, Hardened in the Forge is a 2 red, 1 of any color, star 3, legendary enchantment creature demigod, uncommon. Its power and toughness its power is equal to the devotion to the red. To red. Now, whenever it or another non-token creature you control dies, play 1/1 red satyr creature token with this creature can't be blocked. If the creature has power 4 or greater, create 2 of these tokens instead. So there's a lot to take in on this. This is going to be a big beady stick because anything with the only one I've seen so far in this entire the only 2 I've seen so far that have it in toughness, not power, are the white and black one, and their abilities kind of make sense for that. This one obviously makes more sense in terms of ability for this type of effect, for it to be power. And quite frankly, it would not be hard to get this thing up to 4 power. It wouldn't be hard at all. It already starts as 2. And then you get satyr tokens that can't be blocked by creatures that can't be. You get unblockable satyrs, which red can't be blocked very often. Usually you'll see can't be blocked most often in blue, but red does get it from time to time. I want to say, is it black or white that sometimes gets it too? I think it's black that sometimes gets it also. But you almost never see it, I think, in white and green, unless on the most rarest of occasions, as far as I remember. This is a great card, though. This is a really good card because it basically replaces whatever dies as long as it's not a token. So if it dies, you'll get a token. If its power is great, you'll get 2 tokens. If you got other things like, say, your Archon, that dies, you'll get a token. If you're playing, say, a green-red deck, Renata dies, its power is 4, you'll get another one. So it's a good card. It's a very good card. Renata, Call to the Hunt. 2 green, 2 of any color for a star 3. Obviously, power is equal to devotion to green. It'll be a 2/3 when it comes out for 4. Perfectly reasonable card. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1 counter on it. So, yeah, this thing's gonna be a beast. Anything that's coming out in the field is getting a +1 counter, basically. So, yeah, good for, again, make that Archon a 4/5 instead of a 3/4. Hell, make Anax a 1/4 automatically when it comes out, making it a 3/4 when it comes out. Look, don't underestimate the ability to basically give +1 counters to all creatures when they come out. This thing is nuts. This thing is nuts, but not quite as nuts as the Titans. We have 2 of the Titans revealed today. My personal favorite, because again, as I just said, I'm a green-blue player, so anytime green-blue gets love, I'm gonna be like, love the green blue, love it. Uro or Uro. I'm gonna go with Uro. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 of any color for a 6/6 Elder Giant Mythic Rare Legendary creature. It can, when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, big thing there, you gain 3 life, draw a card, and then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Its escape cost is 2 blue, 2 green, and 5 cards exiled, which is not a bad exile cost, all things considered, especially late in the game. Now, this is going to clearly be the trademark, the kind of the mechanic with these Titans is that they're very cheaply costed in terms of their actual casting costs, but they'll die immediately when they enter the battlefield unless you paid them for their escape cost, which is only slightly more expensive than their normal casting cost. Yeah, because 4 for a 6/6, that when it enters the battlefield will gain you 3 life, draw you a card, and allow you to play an extra card from your hand, which means, in theory, you will have the mana to play this card the turn you cast this card from your hand and send it to the grave. You just need the cards in your grave to cast it at that point. And then you reactivate that effect every time you attack. And a 6/6 attacking is something you want to attack with. So this thing is fantastic. I love this guy. I love the fact that green-blue got a Titan. But we're not done yet. We are not done yet. Eat to Extinction. 1 black, 3 of any color for a rare instant. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. Now, we will talk about the Titan that this is actually representing here in a little bit. But it's a very good card. It's great removal. It will also get rid of gods so long as they are creatures. That's the interesting thing here. Because the Titans are a threat to the gods themselves. Hence why they were sealed away. The fact that he can't hurt the gods if they're not creatures is interesting to me. Because as you can see here, he's about to eat a sphinx whole. The god Destiny puts it. Cronax devours what he may, not for nourishment or pleasure, it's because it's his nature. He has unyielding hunger given in form. And we'll talk about him in a little bit. But it's a good card, absolutely. Gravebaker Lamia, 1 black, 4 of any color for a 4/4 lifelink creature Lamia, if I'm not mistaken, that is the creature type. When it enters the battlefield, search for a card in your library and put it into the grave. Spells you cast from the grave will cost 1 less to cast, and I believe it is a rare card. This will be great for your escape deck. If you make an escape deck, you're going to want this card, at least if you're in black in an escape deck. You'll definitely want this card. Otherwise, it's a 4/4 for 5 with lifelink in general. So, that being said, it sets you up because you get to look for the escape card you want, put it in the grave, and then go from there. But, I mean, it's a decent card. Not amazing, but a decent card. Kiora Best the Sea God. Mythic Rare Saga, 2 blue, 5 any color. Now, when it enters the battlefield, you'll put an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token with hexproof. That alone will be worth probably an uncommon, if not a rare card. But then you get to tap, then the next turn you get to tap all permanents target opponent controls, and they do not untap during the control's next untap step. That pretty much puts it already into the Mythic Zone, because then you get to basically swing in with your Octopus. Or your Kraken in this case. And then, at the third Saga part, where you sacrifice this card, you gain control of target permanent and opponent controls and untap it. This card is pretty good. This card's actually pretty broken. You're basically getting a giant board stat creature. You're tapping down everything they have. Then you're taking something they have. That's a freaking good creature, or card right there. Absolutely. And if you can figure out a way to bring it back, which would, with this set, very possible, do it again. It's not a legendary Kraken, so do it again. That being said, if you're already playing this card the first turn, you're probably in a winning situation at that point. But still, play it again. I'd love to open 2 of these just for the shits and giggles of it. Because these aren't legendary cards, by the way. This is not a legendary card. You can have multiple copies of this on the field at the same time, which would be hilarious to me. So, Thrix, the Sudden Storm is 2 blue, 3 of any color for a 4/5 legendary creature elemental giant. Rare. Flash flying. Spells you cast with converted mana cost 5 or greater cost 1 less to cast and can't be countered. Now, I heard someone say that this is probably seeding a little bit of effects or card tutoring for Ikoria Layer of Behemoths, the next set after this, which is probably going to be like a giant monster kaiju set, which I'm looking forward to, absolutely. And they're probably not wrong per se, but let's be clear, there's a lot of cards here that cost 5 or more mana. Any of the gods, almost like half the gods, for instance, cost 5 or more mana, roughly speaking. I mean, Pertheros, Erebos, Naile, they all cost 5 or more mana. So this guy already just kind of shrinks them down a bit. Any of the major like big monsters, they cost more than that. So yeah, the Titans don't, surprisingly, but still. Last but not least for today, 2 cards left. We'll talk about Fateful End real quick. 1 red, 2 of any color for an instant, uncommon. It deals 3 damage to any target, and you scry 1. That I believe is like some of the card, what was it? Jaya something or other from World of Spark, just a bit more expensive. It's a good card though. You're gonna use it. It's a 3 damage spell, and you get to scry 1. So it's a good card. But let's talk about the last Titan today. Croax, Titan of Death's Hunger. 1 black and 1 red for a 6/6 mythic rare legendary elder giant. Obviously, destroy it when it enters the battlefield, or sacrifice when it enters the battlefield, unless it enters from it being escaped. And it looks like it's a uniformed cost for all of them from the escape. In this case, 2 black, 2 red. Exile the other 5 cards from your grave. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card, and then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. So essentially, and I just want to be sure I'm reading right. Each opponent who did not discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. So the question, basically, I'm just trying to figure out the wording on that. So if they did discard a non-land card, they're not losing 3 life. But if they didn't discard a non-land card, if they discarded instead a land, or if they just don't have cards in their hand at that point, then you're taking 3 life. Okay, I get it now. And yeah, that's actually an engine. That's a clock on that thing. If you're able to get it out after you play it the first time, because this is a good opening hand spell, honestly, because that's what it is. Then you're basically just going to be ticking them down, just tick, 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 along with a 6/6 monster. So I'll say this too: I don't think the Titans are quite as good as say the gods, the insect gods from Amonkhet with their recursion ability, because they just went back to your hand afterwards. But these are still really good cards, I think. So until then, though, that is my thoughts on that. There are a lot of great cards spoiled today. Looking forward to what probably the last Titan and the new Planeswalker is going to be. So we're going to get that sometime in the week. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.